So let's go. We on Rockwell podcast episode 25. We got the young legend in the building, Trey Budden in the building. Appreciate you coming on the show. Let's make some noise for him, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I've been listening to the EP like all night and today, and I know you finished it like a few months ago, right?
Yeah, I just finished the Legacy EP a couple months ago. We've been working on it for like a solid 3 years.
You got one engineer?
You said what?
You got one engineer or you got multiple engineers?
So the thing about my engineers is that right now I have one engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I trust this engineer. I work with this engineer all the time or whatever. But it's like sometimes when my engineer is slacking, then I go somewhere else. So like I got backups. But I fuck with my dude PD. He's one of the local boys. You know, PD and Craze, they going crazy in Jersey City. A lot of people know them, but locally. So when it comes to like building projects, he works with me a lot. He does a lot of my music now. Everything on SoundCloud he wasn't doing because I haven't met him yet. But you know, once I got on all the major platforms and stuff like that, that's when I started working with PD and all that.
Word. And for those of y'all who don't know, Trey Budden is from Jersey. You from New Jersey, Jersey City, New Jersey?
Jersey City, New Jersey.
All right, got you. And a lot of legends came out of that city. A lot of rap legends. One of the greatest rap cities I think of all time. To be honest with you, if you put it pound for pound with any other city, I think Jersey could hold its own. You know what I'm saying?
Jersey holds it down. Jersey City specifically. We got Redman. We got Pops. We got Pops.
Yeah.
We got
Joey.
Redman. We got Pops. We got Surf. Artists. We got a couple people for real. We got a couple like heavy hard hitter bar type people coming out of Jersey specifically.
Even Fetty Wap, right? Like Fetty Wap from Jersey, right?
Fetty Wap was probably the guy that put Jersey on a more of a mainstream platform when it came to like the newer music and stuff like that. Because if you look at the older music, you know, we got people here and there, but in terms of like putting Jersey on a map, Fetty Wap really did that for that little span of time he had.
Yeah. No, you say he still has his run. It just waves come and go, but he's still like doing shows. I mean, before the quarantine. So yeah, I always think about that shit with Fetty too. I'm like, did he fall off? I don't think he necessarily fell off. I think he has his run. But yeah, let's get into the EP though, the Legacy EP. I know it's gonna sound like a dumb question, but for the people out there who don't know, why'd you name it the Legacy EP?
So the thing about the Legacy EP was at first when we were making it, it was just gonna be the Trey Budden EP. So we were sitting in the studio, and this was before I met PD, and we were sitting in our first studio, and we were like, Trey Budden EP, let's get it rocking or whatever. So over like a span of a year and a half, I was on the verge of quitting music. I was on the verge of saying, all right, it's not really quitting because I didn't really start yet, but you get what I'm saying. Like I wasn't going to continue it as a career type of thing. So then we went to Tory Lanez, not a Tory Lanez concert. We went to a Drake concert, and at that point, we given up on the EP. We were like, "Fuck it, like we're not even going to do it no more." So then, I met Tory for the first time. I met Tory Lanez for the first time, and he was like, "You made that one song, didn't you? Like that one diss track?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That's hard. Like keep going with it." So you know, my boys was like, "All right, fuck it. I mean, we might as well keep going with it now." So then,
hold on. Yeah, so, I'm with you. I just got to turn this fucking. Something beeping in my house. I'm figuring it out, but I'm listening. Let's keep going. Do you hear the beep? Is that fucking you up?
That might be my house, to be honest.
Oh, is it yours? I can't even tell. It's all good. My house. It's all good.
My fireworm. It's probably my fireworm.
It's all good. Don't trip. But yeah, continue what you were saying.
So then, we decided we were sitting in the studio. We were like, let's think of a couple names or whatever. So the other names didn't really have like a meaning. It was kind of just like trying to put a name on EP. But then one day we were like the Legacy EP, and then we were like that really shows the different the difference when it comes to the old school idea of a Budden versus the new school idea of a Budden. So when you take the music I make compared to the music my father makes, one is a lot more bars, one is a lot more rap, one is very into rap, while I on the other hand just try to create a song that sounds good sonically. You know what I mean? I focus on the other aspects because at the end of the day, my pen could always get as nice as my pops will, but if that's going to be the case, it might as well be a Joe Budden career. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So
And
we went
mhm.
went more into the legacy EP, and we were like, all right, the legacy EP really shows the difference between what we're trying to do versus what he was doing.
Do you think like what he was doing, because that worked with the times, right? And like he was lyrical, one of the greatest of all time. But it's difficult to not be like on a vibe these days. You know what I'm saying? Like so the sound is more important now. So like I know you saying, because you got bars too, bro. And not to cut you off, but I'm saying like you got bars too, but you work it in a modern kind of like, you know, you finesse it in a way that it's like you can bop to it kind of thing, like bounce to it and shit, rather than just, you know how it was back, like the boom bap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. I'm not really focused on the bars right now. I was just trying to get my sad bars off and my hard bars off at the start of my music, so that I have sort of a platform to work with in terms of if someone comes to me and like, you don't got no bars, all right, go to my SoundCloud. You don't got no bars, all right, go to the EP. But now that we're past the EP was just to set that line. Like there is a difference between the old school Budden and the new school Budden. Because at this point, I could freely do whatever I want. The EP was just proof that there is a difference there, but I could still hold that type of bar aspect when it comes to the new school type of beats and the new school type of music that I'm making.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Hey, let's figure this shit out, because this shit is gonna be epic. I already know. Like, is it your house or my house? I keep hearing. I'm tripping. I'm like,
it's probably my house. It really probably is my house. My fire alarm has been going off.
Is it your fire, like a fire alarm?
It's a fire alarm.
Yeah. Could you like unplug it real quick if you don't mind? Because I don't want to. Man, it seems like it's fucking my house. I'll be looking around everywhere.
Matter of fact, I could probably just go somewhere else, because it's not really one of those things that you could just unplug. I just want
people to hear this with good ass quality.
Hold on, give me a second.
You got Trey Budden in the building, and they already understand my audience, because we be having this type of shit all the time, and it's quarantine time, so
yeah,
we all dealing with this shit. But yeah, as you were saying,
shop bathroom real quick. That's what I'm finna do.
What you about to do?
I got a bathroom dedicated to like weed and stuff like that.
Perfect.
We just lock in there real quick, because that's where I can go without no type of problem.
Is it you sure it's your house?
It has to be my house. Everybody complain about my fire alarm.
All right, cool. I keep thinking it's my shit.
All right,
work. And so, yeah, we said the old Budden versus the new Budden, and that's kind of a cool way to do it, because like, and also, you know, legacy means your name legacy, you know, your last name. So you guys both are like upholding that last name and like, you know, keeping it legendary. Producers wise, like how many producers do you work with? Because what I liked about the EP, and I'm glad you did the EP, because a lot of people put too many songs on their debut shit, and it's just all over the place. Your shit is cohesive. It's like one sound. So did you have one producer you work with, or how many producers did you work with?
So the thing is, on the EP, I worked with Kaz the God. Kaz the God works with people like he's worked with a couple people, like a couple industry people. I worked with PD. PD produced majority of it. I Am Sue came to me with a beat. The song that he's
hard, by the way, super hard.
Thank you.
With Chris
the song that, so the thing about that was the first half I Am Sue originally came to me with, because he was on Instagram Live. He was like, I got this song, and he just sent it through, but he never gave me like any idea of who the producer was or anything, so I couldn't give him like the credit he deserves unless I Am Sue did it himself. I just have no idea. But the second half of that was produced by PD. Dirty Jersey was by Samaj Savage.
That's the intro for y'all out there.
Yeah, we Dirty Jersey was Samaj Savage. Ops was PD. Man Up was PD and I Am Sue. And then Walking Dead was Jacob Dempsey. He's an upcoming guy. That guy actually hit me up on Instagram out of nowhere. He was like, yo, I got a couple beats for you to run through. And at first I told him to flip a Busta Rhymes beat for me, and it was hard. It brought that real aggression I was looking for, because back then I didn't have that real aggression. So he brought that real aggression that I was looking for. And after that, he was like, yo, I got a couple joints I want you to run through for my project. And he gave me a Walking Dead. So he gave me Walking Dead, and then I was like, damn, like that's hard. Like it's different from what I normally try to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's rock. So I've been rocking with Jacob Dempsey for a little bit. I go to him when it comes to like aggressiveness and stuff like that. And then Year Long was produced by Kaz the God. Yeah, that was produced by Kaz the God, and then the second half was produced by PD. So most of it was produced by PD. But I have like,
that's what's up. And he helped you. Did he help you like convey a certain emotion? I know your pop's got mood music, and it seems like the second coming of that. Like even in the beginning when you say "look," I'm like, yo, this sounds like in a good way. It's like eerie. It's weird, but it's like the new generation of that. So I figure you have a good ear also, because if you're working with multiple producers, for you to still keep a cohesive sound throughout that, was that you and your producer, your main producer, just doing that collectively, or like is that something you did?
so actually it was me and my boy Kadian. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
I got two niggas that roll with me, three niggas that just roll with me everywhere. So it was my boy Kadian, and we were just running around, and we heavy when it comes to like bars, but on like beats you could just like bop to. So we would go in, we would just mumble a little bit, and then we'd probably just go back and forth in terms of like bars off the head.
Yeah.
Or like I would write part of the verse, he'd be like, nah, that's not it. I feel like you should do this more. I'd be like, all right, cool. It'd be like, and he was the guy that would manage to keep the cohesive sound throughout the project. Because at the end of the day, I could say it was all me, because it was on me most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had that right hand man there to double check, to be like, that works for the project.
As you should.
This should go on the project. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of people don't listen to people, and then you should have that right hand man to help you, like, because there's only so much that you could focus on. And I could tell, like, it sounded like a polished. Were you like 20 years old, 21 years old, 22?
No, I'm actually 18.
You're 18, bro? Bro, I'm telling you. And this interview about to be legendary too, because they're gonna go back and watch this shit. And so like, yeah, you got it, bro. And like the fact that it's a mood throughout the whole, and I hate to use that word because it's too much like your pots, but like I know that's not what you're going for, but it's just like the way it's like a vibe throughout the whole thing. And the way you guys finished out the songs, because I'm into all that shit when I'm listening. I don't like it sloppy. I don't like it where it's all over the place. You could have just put out a mixtape if you was doing that. And it was like a project. We learned about you through this project, which a lot of young rappers, you don't even know who they are after you finish listening to it. So even on the club songs, like even Walking Dead, that hook is fire. First of all, that hook is super fire. And then you still like even on the club songs, you talking about like real shit. You talk about your cousin, your moms, what you want to do for your moms. Like I'm gonna tell like the first, if you don't mind me asking, that first song, the intro, which is one of my favorites. That shit hard as fuck. That Dirty Jersey, that shit just comes off street right off the bat, you know, right off the rip. It come off street. And you say like you saw, if you don't mind me going here, because music shows off who you are, you know what I'm saying? It says you saw your cousin die. You want to like talk or elaborate on that, or is that too kind of a sensitive subject?
So the thing about that is that he wasn't really my cousin. He wasn't my cousin. But back when I was younger, we used to run around. We used to do stuff like I was a bad kid, but like I wasn't a bad kid. You know what I mean? Like I didn't act out. I didn't wild out. But like from a moral standpoint, the things we were doing were bad. Like we were stealing from stores. You know, we were doing all this types of stuff. We was just on a block one summer, so it wasn't really anything like crazy. And then one day I just heard he got popped, but he was my boy. More, but you know, he was like cousin, da da da. It was just like we would hang out when we were young, and then one day I just heard he got.
Did he rap too?
We were too young to be rapping. He was young. Like we were like 12, like 12, 11 type stuff. Like we were young. So he didn't rap. I wasn't rapping. Rapping wasn't a thing for us. We were just outside. So it wasn't like, let's do this. Let's think of a different outlet to speak to people. We were just kids being outside. You know what I mean? So you know, he just seemed to go a different path than I was, but he just ended up getting popped, and I heard about it from somebody else. So I mean, it wasn't my cousin, but it was a nigga I was close to, someone I grew up with. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm closer to a lot of people than my real cousins, so I call them my cousins too and shit, you know, especially coming from LA and shit. So I can totally understand that. And like, so when did you first start like taking the rap shit seriously? Because we're gonna get into the songs, we're gonna break it down. The thing I love about the album though is that we can break it down. It's not, I hate the 22, 25, and I'm hypocritical because my last album I put a bunch of songs on there. But like, I love to listen to cohesive projects. So we're gonna break down each song. But I want to know, like, how did you start? Like, when did you first start writing lyrics and rapping and shit? You know.
So, oh, can you hear that? Oh, hold on. So the thing about that was, I started writing when I was 11, 12. So the thing about me was I didn't go to therapy. Therapy wasn't a thing for me. I didn't believe in therapy. I think therapy is just someone with a degree spewing a bunch of bullshit to make someone feel comfortable. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what it does for people. I don't know how it works for people. I don't know what people do after therapy. That's just how I feel about personally when it comes to therapy.
I
So
agree.
instead of therapy, I was a really emotional kid. Like I was extremely emotional. I had a lot of anger built up to a lot of different things that I didn't want to project in a negative way. So when I'm sitting around and I'm angry as hell for no reason, what am I going to do? Just curse people out? I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have an outlet for that. So 8th grade came around. They implemented a rap class in my school, actually. So when 8th grade came around, I was in rap class, and he would have us write. He would have us learn like Biggie and Tupac songs. He would have us come in and recite them. He would have us get in groups, learn how to collab in groups. And some kids were a lot better than others. I was just one of those kids that was better than all of the others. So it was weird to me because I was like, he would give us homework assignments to be like, write a verse. And 30 minutes before class, I would write that down. I would memorize it. I'd go in and I'd just be like, here's what I have. He'd be like, that is different. But that was before I was using bigger words. It was more like I was playing, it was a puzzle to me. I was just playing around with words at that point, but it wasn't a real passion for me. It was a class. So at that point, we would have middle school like presentations where we would perform live for like kids' parents and stuff like that. So I hopped on a beat called Big Spender by I don't know who originally. I hopped on.
It was like they sampled some shit, right?
Yeah,
was it Jewels?
Yeah,
Was it Jewels?
I don't remember who it was.
I know exactly what beat you're talking about.
That's the beat I hopped on. I hopped on Big Spender, and people seem to love it. So at that point, I was like, maybe I could do something with this. Let me just start trying a little more. Yeah. So that's when I started meeting other local Jersey rappers. That's when like local Jersey rappers became a thing to me. So I then went from playing with words to trying to make actual full-length songs. So me and my boy, Cadian again, my boy Cadian, he said, I want to build a studio. And I think that instead of, because at first we were fucking with acting and photo shoots. He said, instead of doing that, I think we should rap. So I was like, all right, how do you want to do this? A week passed, he bought all of the studio equipment necessary for us to get it started. So I was like, yo, you just racked up 1,500 worth of equipment so I can rap. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was like, that was the first genuine thing someone's done in order to propel my music career ever. So I was surprised. I was like, let's fucking get it. Like, let's start working. Let's lock in. So then we were like, all right, I want to have a concept. What is the first concept we want to have? So at first, our first song was called Venting Session. So that was the first, like,
it's called what?
Venting Session.
Oh, Venting Session. Okay, gotcha.
That song, he didn't know how to mix, so it was just vocals over a beat. It sounded horrible, but the content was there. So I'm in like sophomore year of high school, so then I posted. Academics catches onto it. He reposted. I'm like, no.
Was this during like Everyday Struggle, like where they were like close?
Everyday Struggle was still a thing. Like Everyday Struggle was still happening, but they weren't speaking about it on Everyday Struggle. This was separate. This was just academics posting what he wanted to post. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he posted Venting Sessions. I texted him personally. I DM'd him. I was like, yo, I didn't expect for this to happen. I didn't expect for it to catch the type of whiff that it got. But if this is what we're doing here, I can't have this be my first look. So he was like, all right. So I was like, yo, can you take that down? He took it down after 5 minutes, but people saw it already. So people were aware something was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Academics takes it down. Then after that, we're like, all right, for our first song, let's try to figure out more of a concept. So at that point, we had venting session went out. Venting session had a concept, but it wasn't. Hold up.
No problem. They used to this, right? They like this shit. They like to see like the rawness.
So then we thought of Thoughts After the Courtroom. So then Thoughts After the Courtroom was like, at first we were like, all right, so let's have Thoughts After the Courtroom. Is not meant to be a diss at all. Like, it wasn't meant to be a diss at all. It was just meant to be to Pops.
I heard that song too. It was on your Instagram.
That was my biggest song. Everybody's heard that song, but they don't know I continue to make music. Like, a lot of niggas hear that song, but they don't know I'm still rocking. You know what I mean?
And you got way better. And I never took it as a diss either. It seemed like venting, like you said, venting.
It was venting. So initially I was like, there's just shit we need to get off our chest. So we started off with Pops. We were like, all right, this is a message to Pops. So Thoughts After the Courtroom dropped. That was probably the worst mistake I've made in terms of like mistakes I could make so far in my career. You know what I mean?
Why do you say that though?
For a first look and for the amount of people I have willing to work with me solely off of my last name, that first look could have been a lot better. I could have got someone to mix it properly. I could have gotten someone to probably record a music video for it. Fuck it, I probably could have made an original song on an original beat and went from there and actually made money from that. But instead, I was just throwing something out. Like, I didn't plan to continue to, I didn't plan to keep going. You know what I mean? It was just, Pops is saying this and this and this and that on his songs. A lot of people have been talking to me about it, saying this and this and this and that. All right, it's time to express my viewpoint.
Yeah.
After that, we were like, all right, the people fuck with the music. Academics was like, yo, I'd fuck with this heavy. I was like, all right, cool. So then after that, we started making more songs for my SoundCloud. So then we had Hold Me Down. That was a concept of speaking about the females in my life. We had Dearly Deceased. You know, all the songs on my SoundCloud.
They can download like on Dad Paper. It's only on SoundCloud, these songs.
It's only on SoundCloud. It's only on SoundCloud. But these are quality songs. Like, if I had the opportunity to remake these songs and get the type of response that I had initially gotten, I fucking would. I'd rush to it. But, you know, the concepts there were genius concepts behind them. And I don't like, I just pooped myself out is what I'm saying, concept-wise. I was shooting out so many concept songs that had a lot of story behind it that I'm young, so I don't have a lot of concepts. You know what I mean? So it got to a point where I was like, now I just have to focus on trying to make a quality song. So
no, continue. I messaged you by accident. I'm talking to my producer. Yeah, got you.
So after that, yo,
how old were you during all this? It's like you were like 17, 16?
So Thoughts After the Courtroom dropped when I was 16.
Got you.
My SoundCloud run was when I dropped my second song when I turned 17.
Got you.
And it was called Game Plan, and it was just straight bars, seeing how people would react in terms of, I was just testing with the people at this point. So I would put something out, see how the response would get, put out a different vibe, see how the response would get. Dearly Deceased is probably the last crazy idea I've had in terms of putting songs together. So at this point, like, once I ran into PD and we started putting stuff on like major platforms, at that point it's just me talking about my life. But the concepts behind my SoundCloud songs were crazy, and I need to remake those. I really need to.
Hey,
I need to.
like, when you say concepts, that's like an underrated thing in rap. Talk about just one of the concepts that you think. And what I would say too, before you explain that, is some of these concepts, they're like baby concepts that you talk about on the mixtape, and then you expand on that on the album. But like, I want to just hear like about one of the concepts that you had.
So the greatest concept I think I've had, aside from talking to Pops, I think this one might be greater. I was supposed to have an older brother. My older brother passed away at birth, so I never had an older brother. Dearly Deceased was essentially me speaking to my older brother in terms of a song and keeping him updated with stuff that's going on in my life, you know, stuff that's going on modern day, you know, how my mother, how my father is doing, stuff like that. So Dearly Deceased was just me talking to my older brother at that point. So that, but it's just the way that it flowed. Like, it wasn't like, it was, you can always have a concept, but if it doesn't flow, what's the point? You know what I mean? It just sounded smooth for what the concept was. You know what I mean? It wasn't repetitive. It wasn't drawn out. It wasn't none of that. It was a short song. It got straight to the point, and it very much described every point I needed to describe throughout a song. Yeah. So at that point, when I was writing songs like that, songs were like essays to me, but I enjoyed it. So it was like, we planned it out. We see what we want to talk about. We write. We see what comes to. A song would take us like 2 weeks. Now it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But now I'm able to shoot out songs without a concept, but there's still, you know, you can still bop to it or whatever.
Yeah.
So the EP was trying to get less, put less stress on myself while also keeping those same aspects throughout the music. So
I feel like you're rooted in, like, you're too in a good way. Like, you have to have concepts in a good way. So even on your club records and shit, you got concepts. You stay on topic. You're like a writer, like somebody who writes essays or somebody who writes, you know, you're naturally gifted at that. So it's good for you to have a concept. And I love that type of shit, even listening, that even when it's a club record, when it's a song for the bitches, when it's a song for anybody, you know, like, just to keep a subject. And that seems like that's kind of one of your fortes, one of your strengths, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like, if someone comes to me and says, yo, I'm trying to stray away from sad songs because I'm not a sad nigga no more.
Yeah, I feel you.
Back when I was in my sad bag, like, every now and then when I'm in my sad bag, it gets crazy. I just dropped a song today called Black Culture. Because I was in my sad bag. Like, these are just, I get quality music when I'm in my sad bag, but I don't want to be in my sad bag.
Let me tell you something about being in your sad bag, and that's a great point you brought up, because people say, like, when they rap about depressive shit, their life becomes depressing. But also, bro, like, look at the following your Pops has from the Mood Music tapes, Kid Cudi, who else? There's a bunch of rappers. Even Kanye could be in that, low key. Eminem back in the day, I guess. Just people that could relate to depression and, like, going through some shit. That's not a bad bag to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the only thing is, like you're saying, like, you might have to live that, and you don't want to live that. It's kind of like what you put out to the universe, you attract back. So, like, if you keep rapping about depressed shit, you stay depressed, but you're helping. So it's like a yin and yang to that shit, because you're helping so many other kids. And I like that about your shit, because you go back and forth. And I get what you're saying. Like, I just want to make that clear for the audience. Like if you're not in a sad place no more, you can't keep rapping about sad shit. They probably want Kid Cudi to keep rapping about sad shit, but he's not going to do that because he's not in a sad place. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's exactly what I mean. So yeah. I mean, now I'm trying to venture out and try new things. At this point, I'm just playing with my voice, trying to figure stuff out. But, you know, I'm trying to get into other bags rather than the sad bag, because that's not even the type of nigga I am. Like, I'm not even a sad nigga. Like, I go out often, I do stuff. I'm active. Like, I'm not sad. I'm not none of that. But when my music portrays that, I want to be able to make music.
With the Legacy EP, that portrays that too? You think so too, with that EP?
I think the Legacy EP is just personally, I don't like the Legacy EP. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Like your first project, so I get you, but it's dope. But I'm letting you know.
Like, I think it holds what it needs to hold, but I feel like it didn't do what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Numbers wise, or impact.
Not even numbers wise. Like creatively, it didn't sound how I wanted it to sound. But I did listen to it. I was like, all right, this is solid. But it could be a step above solid if I really had a little more time like I wanted to. So the thing about that is I was like this, because we were already saying EP coming out a year and a half ago when we had a full-length project ready, but it wasn't up to par, and we had to scratch the whole thing. We scratched the EP about 3 times before we got to the final product. So I feel like I could have gotten into my sad bag a little more when it came to the EP. We could have gotten a lot more personal than it would have been. And if I had a second chance to, like, not like if I had a second chance, because I'm going to do it again regardless, or it's going to come to that point regardless, but I'm just going to have a project full of concepts, something that is a little more deep than the Legacy EP, something niggas could cry to, because my SoundCloud songs were songs that nigga was crying to. EP, you can't really do that. Like, I'm not getting texts that saying, like, people are saying, yo, we fuck with the EP, we about to the EP. But those texts, those DMs saying, yo, you really helped me through this. You really helped me through that situation. Someone hit me up talking about, yo, my dad's doing this. I know you're not going to answer me, but I need someone to talk to. I responded like this. I was like, yo, listen, niggas going through the same shit over here. This and this and this and that. So it's just that connection that I could have had with the people was not there. So I'm going to do it again, but my next project, like right now, I'm not in my sad bag. Right now, I'm making bops. But once I'm in my sad bag, it's done. Like, it's keys after that. Like, I feel like I feel like
one night of being sad, and you could probably put out 2 records that could, it don't gotta be your whole identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be that sad. Like, it's just like, I get it. I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I understand exactly what you're saying. There's a funny thing like that. I remember I saw this video on the internet. You remember what's that, LMFAO? That rap. Yeah. They was talking about they used to listen to Black Eyed Peas, because really what you say and it put out to the universe, it comes back to you. So they used to say they listened to like old Black Eyed Peas and Black Eyed Peas, and I never really listened to Black Eyed Peas like that, but they said they would talk about the struggle and all that shit, and like and then they realized they live in more of that. Like, when they rap about the struggle, it's more real in their life. So they started rapping about bullshit, like partying and shit, and it worked because they started getting money. So I get what you're saying, but I like what you're saying also with doing both, and like, you're not gonna stay in your sad bag, but like, you're gonna get back to it here and there just to help the people out. Because like you said, which one do you get more fulfillment from? When you get the messages like, I fuck with your EP, it made me like vibe to it, or that you helped me through, you stopped me from suicide? And I know I'm wording that in a way that like, but you know what I'm saying?
But those were the type of messages I was getting for real. Like, those were the type of, that's the type of reaction I'm getting. So in terms of what I was looking for, I want to be able to get in that side bag. Like, I want to be able to connect to people. My big thing is like interacting with my fans. And I feel like that's one of the things I haven't gotten bigger than I am right now, because, you know, a lot of people that I was fucking with, they don't have that connection. But that connection is what draws people into them. Like, that lack of connection is really what draws people in. I was talking to this nigga, Justin Rari, before he blew up, back when he had 15K. But now that he don't unfollow me, I'm gonna keep it a buck. He don't unfollow me. We was following each other. It's just because that it's the industry. It's the industry thing that he has to keep up. So he can't follow these random not so popular niggas. But if I DM him and I say he's gonna answer me back in a day's change. It's just that lack of connection that really brings people to the next level. I could give a fuck about lack of connection. I'm interacting with my fans. Every core fan I have know me. Like, they talk to me personally. Them niggas have my number. You know what I mean? Like, they could hit me up if they have any problems. They know not to hit me up on no bullshit. But at the end of the day, I still want to be able to make that type of music that you could ride in the car to and bop your head to. Something that'll get you lit. Something I could go to a party and I could rock out to. Because now that I'm in a frat, now just everything around me is built for bops and music and like stuff that you could bop to, stuff you could rock out to. I'm no longer in a space where I can continue to make sad music. Well, I can, but I'm no longer in a space where that's going to be pushed on its own. I no longer have pops. I no longer have act. Like this is stuff I got to work with on my own. So now I'm making
right. Don't you think that's making you like more self?
That's an amazing thing because exactly I have to figure it out on my own. But along with the change in plans comes the change in music. So if I change the direction I go to in my terms of my plans, I'm also changing the direction I go in with my music. Just not saying I'm forced to, but for me, to better myself. Yeah. So, for example, I just recently got into drill. Like, I could body these genres. It's just that
you can.
I haven't been dipping in each genre. You know what I mean? I haven't been giving it opportunities. Niggas on my Instagram are fucking with the drill.
Yeah.
But the niggas from day one might not be like, yo, this is it. You know what I mean? So now I'm building my own fan base. So now I'm on the verge of building my own fan base, but I still have to feed the original day ones.
Yeah. So, you're in a beautiful spot right now, like in your life and in your career, because they learned about you as a lyricist. But watch, because I know this about you by listening to your EP. Like I said, the club records, you still come lyrical on it. When you do this drill music, you still gonna spit bars. You're not gonna waste a bar. It don't seem like you waste too many bars. It seems like every bar means something, whether it's a short line or what. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't seem. So you're in a beautiful space where it's not like. Imagine if like somebody who's super, super established wanted to do drill music. You have the opportunity and gift to be able to experiment with your sound, and people know you for what they know you for, but also you have so much more of an audience you can gain, and keeping your true self, you can do it in your own way, Like that's the beauty in what the music I was listening to. I was like, damn, like, I guess it's like, like somebody play basketball or something. Like, it's not even about that because you're not using your past connections, but it's in your blood. You know what I'm saying? Like you natural.
Yeah.
So like, and I respect that. And I respect that you're lyrical, but like in Walking Dead, you would spin bars. Even the last song. Let's get into the album real quick because I want them to know it's a 6-track EP, right? The Legacy EP.
The 6 tracks.
All streaming platforms, right? Spotify, Tidal, everything.
Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, Apple Music, all of them.
All right, so we already talked about Dirty Jersey, which is super hard. I think it was a great way for you to do the intro. You did the whole, like, it didn't drop until the middle of it. The beat didn't drop, and you was just rapping. You was speaking facts. You was speaking your life. They got to listen to that. I think once they hear Dirty Jersey, they're going to listen to the rest of that shit for sure. Like, they're going to be in it now. One For Me is dope. On One For Me, you talk a lot about God. Like, are you a spiritual person?
So my relationship with God is kind of difficult. You know what I mean? So I'm not. My family's Christian. I used to be heavy in Christianity. I'm not 100% in Christianity. I do have slight like questions in terms of if God is this and this and this and that, then why does this happen? I'm very like analytic when it comes to blindly following beliefs. So
they call that dogma. I just learned that it's a big word, not a big word, but it's a word they call it when you blindly follow beliefs. That's called dogma. I just want everybody to be educated on that. Continue.
So I don't find religion any different. I'm not going to blindly follow something that I don't find 100% airtight reasonable. You know what I mean? So in my songs, I try to show that off by saying, all right, I believe in God, praise God, thank God for me being in the position I'm in, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if God is putting me in such a good position, why are bad things happening to the people around me?
Word.
You know what I mean? So I try. So that is one of the questions that we've had. And actually, that was probably one of the concepts that we were going to use. But Hobson did it first, so we couldn't dick ride. So the concept was, we believe God, but at the end of the day, why is this shit happening around me if God is there for me?
Not to cut you off, and Hobson did not, maybe he did it first. I don't even know, because I listened to a little bit of Hobson. He's dope as fuck. I know he's super dope. I just never really got into him. Your pops did it first though with the Pray For Me song. So like it was like questioning God type of shit. And so like that song is hard. But like yeah. Continue what you were saying. I just wanted to because once you said Hobson, I was like the Pray like like the questioning God is like such a, and it's good to see a different spin on it every time. You were like, yeah, continue about your spirituality. I just want to let you get a little bit more in depth on that.
I am spiritual. So I do believe in spirits. I do believe in, all that. My mom has a shrine in our house, dedicated to like spiritual things. So I am spiritual. Although religiously I'm Christian, but I'm not heavy Christian. I'm not like 100% Christian. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm the same way. I'm spiritual. I don't consider myself religious just because like I'm supposed to be born Hindu, but like even with Christianity, I have a lot of Christian friends, and it just seems like if you really believe it, then you're gonna think like I'm gonna go to hell. And you don't seem like, and I'm not gonna put words into your mouth, but you like a Christian who don't believe that non-Christians are going to hell, right? If you do believe that, it's totally cool too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just asking you so we get, depth.
I am the type of person who I don't believe 100% of the Christian rules. I do believe in a higher power that I can consider God, but I just don't. I don't say, you're going to hell if you don't believe in Christianity, because at the end of the day, who am I to tell somebody else that what you believe is wrong? You know what I mean? So that's one of the things with Christianity that I just don't. Heavy Christians it just doesn't make sense for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like at the end of the day, you could not be a Christian, but you could also not go to hell or whatever you think it might be.
Exactly. We don't even know. I mean? Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like, I believe Christianity, but I'm not knocking down what anyone else believes.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like when you're 100% Christian, you're anti other religions. So that's not what I try to give off. That's not what I try to do. I'm not anti other religions. I just believe what I personally believe.
100%. And all right, so let's go to the next track. All right, you talk about ops. That shit. I like the way you did it because I feel like you just know this shit, or it's like in you, or you had help, which is a good thing too. Like the way it flows. You did your little, like you did your intro. It's just like a perfect little EP. Like I really liked it. I wouldn't bullshit you, bro. Especially you 18 years old, bro. I know you would be. I know you're gonna be a legend. So. And I'm gonna call it right here on the Rockwell podcast. Trey Budden is gonna be a legend in this rap game. I guarantee you, bro. I'm dead ass because like if anything I grew up on, I don't listen to any other music people tell me to listen to. Like I'm just pure hip hop. I like in hip hop there's multiple genres, and the fact that I really like this fucking EP from a young rapper, like a lot of the young rappers be talking bullshit, and it's a lot of either or. So young rappers have like the boom bap, the bars. There's no vibe. Or they have just the vibe, there's no substance. You had both. So like I'm dead ass when I say that. So all right, so like because I actually fucking went through, so ops is hard as far like and it came at a perfect time, third track on the EP. Who produced that? That song's hard. You know that song.
Petey produced that. Yo, that was my favorite song on the project.
Yeah.
Petey produced that. So Petey produced it. I was sitting in the studio. I was like, damn, that's lit as hell. Like that's something I could slide to. You know what I mean? Like it's not like something that I could be 100% bullshitty on, but I could bullshit. I could bullshit if I feel like it. It was just the perfect outlet for me when I was trying to consider of what sound I want to go with in my career. And I feel like ops really like solidifies like the sound I'm trying to go for. Or the sound that makes me, you know what I mean? So we were sitting there, I was lit as hell. I was sitting there, I was like, give me some top. They were like, oh, that's hard. I was like, all right, let's rock out. So we went in, and I was like, that's a little bitch gonna suck on my dick and that. She wanna give me some top. They were like, damn, yo. They were like, they were like, that's hard, because it also kept, even if it's not bars, the flow is there. Like the flow is there. So if I lack bars, I try to make it up in some other type of aspect. So I didn't have bars in there. There were bars in there, but I had a couple empty spaces that I had to fill in. But I made sure the flow was there.
Yep.
So
That's more important sometimes, to be honest. It is more important, yeah. But continue.
So I made sure the flow is there, went in, we rocked out, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, let me get my charger. Hold up. I need to get my
It's
charger.
all good.
I should have
We're going to
brought
edit it all
that down.
down, but I'm going to keep a lot of it just because it's a great interview.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit going on right now.
Yeah, I feel you. Jersey City. Quarantine in Jersey City. LA over here, bro. It's mad different.
It's mad different. LA?
Mm-hmm. Because we
How's
had
quarantine over there?
a lot of people from New York and the East Coast, and I'm just noticing the whole quarantine situation. Y'all got basements over there and shit. We don't got no basements in LA.
Yeah, we definitely got a basement over here. My mom's lives in a basement.
That's what's up.
It's like a whole other apartment down here. So
that's what's up.
She be letting me go into the bathroom, use the bathroom at my will.
While we at, I'm about to switch something on the because I want this shit to go back and forth like how I used to. I'm asking my producer, checking because right now it's only on you, so I want it to go back and forth in the camera. All right, let me see this shit real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna call him real quick. It's gonna take 2 minutes. We're gonna edit this shit out. If not, we're gonna keep it. 1 second, because we're talking about the album though. We're on the op song, just to let you know. Hold on, let me just make this phone call real quick. Whatever, he not even answering. Yeah. How do I do the active speaker mode on the Zoom? What does it say? Yeah, I'm in meeting, and then I don't know where. Yeah, I don't see that. It's all good. I'll figure it out. Just if you figure out, just type it out on the thing. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Are we still going? We still going. My audience is used to this shit. They love it. They love to see that I'm a human being, bro. I'm not polished. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we're talking about the ops song.
So yeah, we got done with ops. Ops was the vibe we were looking for.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then
so
when you like a verse like that, you write down, you just vibe out to kind of mumble it out in your head, because we got a lot of young rappers out there listening to us that they want to know how to do this shit. They don't understand. Yeah.
All right, so look, because a lot of people have been coming to me asking me how I do it specifically. In order, if I'm not rapping, the point of a song is so people could be able to pick up on the words smoothly. If you write your words down, they may come off chopped, they may come off not as smooth, and it's not. You might write something down that's not the way that you talk. So what I do is I go in. We start off with the hook. I lay down like a flow. What we did was I walked out and said, she gonna give us hard. And at that point, I just filled in the words. But it was just a matter of filling in the words the way that I talk. So then it sounds fluid. So, you know, if you go off the dome, probably line by line, you could probably get something that sounds smooth. You could probably get something that sounds nice. But I went off the dome for almost all them songs, to be honest.
And like off the dome
is the one that really highlighted it.
Like off the dome, meaning you're not necessarily like freestyle, because you might mumble some shit, but you go back and put in words to that, or you literally like go off the dome and just what comes out, you keep that.
The hook. What I do is I lay down a foundation.
Yeah.
I lay down a flow by mumbling. After that, we fill the words in.
That's it. I don't want to give too much because you're giving too many secrets. That I don't want to. We'll leave it at that. Like, and I appreciate you giving that, but I had to cut you off because you don't want to give away your whole game, and I'll feel like a bad person if I let you give away the whole game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go to the next song. All right, Man Up, which is one of my favorites as well. So, like, do you think I Am Sue, he did that because he just started dabbling in production and he didn't really want to let you know, or you know what I'm saying? Some producers do that. Like or rappers do that when they first start producing. They don't want to make it known that they made the beat, you know, or like how did that come about?
So I don't know if he made the beat, to be honest. I don't know who made that beat.
Gotcha.
So I was so the thing was, we were midway through the EP. We were trying to figure out what features we could get together for the EP, because we wanted features. I want to work with niggas. So you know, and I want to have a solid lineup. So I'm aiming for like the bigger niggas. So I had originally I had Caleb Mitchell on it. Caleb Mitchell is a cat from Jersey who just got signed to Def Jam not too long ago, and he has the his song is the song for the Giants.
What's Giants?
The New York Giants.
Oh, the New York Giants. Damn. Okay. That's what's up.
So he got the anthem for the New York Giants when they come out. Okay. So I had him and I had Devon Terrell on it. So Devon Terrell is one of the singers from YouTube. He started off on YouTube. He had a real big run on YouTube, but you know, now he's in a little more music. He's been making music nowadays, and he's popping. His shit's hard. So originally I had Caleb Mitchell and Devon Terrell on one song, and it was an R&B song, but it didn't fit the catalog. So we couldn't put that on there. We kept that to the side for a tuck. Then I Am Sue went live. He had just followed me. He was like, yo, I fuck with your music. You know, and I always looked up to I Am Sue because I grew up on his music. That's just a nigga I grew up on. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I Am Sue wants to give me a song, fucking bet. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I'll take it. So he was on live. He sent me an email. So at first I couldn't do anything with the beat. So
he did the hook too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had a hook on it. He was the hook. Gotcha. So at first I couldn't do anything with the beat. So I was like, PD, make a second half to this beat, but take the guitar sample and flip it. He was like, all right. So what I was gonna do is I had just went to New York to link up with Oswin Benjamin. So I just came from New York to link with Oswin Benjamin, and I met Chris Rivers. So I fuck with Oswin Benjamin, I fuck with Chris Rivers, but like Chris Rivers is one of the niggas that I grew up on. You know, every rapper's kid that hopes to rap is gonna look up to this nigga Chris Rivers.
Yeah, I see that. Damn, that's a good way to put it. Never thought about it like that. That's ill. Okay.
Every rapper's kid who is looking for a rapper's kid that has made it successfully, Chris Rivers is the idol for rappers' children.
For y'all who don't know out there, Chris Rivers is Big Pun's son. So let's make that clear. One of the illest.
Chris Rivers has been running around for the past couple years doing freestyles everywhere. And his pen is one of the craziest pens I've ever seen. And this nigga does it with ease.
Ease, bro. Yeah.
Ease. He does it with
bro, there was no, and I'm going to let you finish, but there was no like drop off in the song. You held your own on that song. And it was a perfect vibe. You know, he did the melody and shit. Yeah, but continue.
Yeah. So at first I wanted Chris to get on the second half. I was gonna get on the first half. So I sent it to Chris's people because I know his manager, and he got back to me. He was like, Chris said the second verse was it just felt off to him. So he put his verse on the first half. He said you could just move it to the second half if you want to. I said, no. You gave me a verse. If it was meant for the first half, it was meant for the first half. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that shit where I slide it over and we're going to keep that there. I'll take the second half. Good luck. Yeah. So I took it. I ran with it. I was like, I couldn't do anything with that first half anyway, but like, I wanted to. I feel like I could have, but it wasn't easy. Like, it wasn't just flowing. So I was like, let me hop on the second half. So I did. We tried to hit like a faster pace type of flow in the second half in order to keep up with like the slower bass and the slower guitar pattern or whatever.
You know this music shit, bro. I could tell. You know this shit. You know.
It's just a matter of like balancing. Like, I used to dance. You know, before I was rapping, I used to dance heavy. Yeah. So like this music shit is dancing to me when it comes to like, that's how we think of it. So like. Yeah. I sit in the studio. I'm like, this instrument's there. Like, I'm not gonna cap to you. I don't overanalyze songs, but I know how to hop in a pocket and hop out of a pocket because that's the same shit I did when I was dancing. At this point, writing and making songs is just dancing with instruments to me.
Like, so it is a puzzle. You finding your spot in the beat and shit. You know.
That's what I mean. So like, at this point, flowing is the easy part for me. That's probably the best aspect I got in terms of this rap shit is flowing, just being able to ride a beat.
How much more time you got? Because I got like a few more questions. You got to one, like it's 4:30.
No, I'm not on the time. I'm not on the time schedule.
Gang more questions. You ever? And we're gonna get back to the album. We got 2 more songs to dissect after that. I'm gonna come back. That's my style and shit. So like, you ever think about making a song? Like, would you ever purposely make a song for TikTok, or would you just make a song and see if it goes to TikTok? Does that make sense?
I got a song in the tuck called Febreze.
Febreze. Okay.
I got a song. Yeah, I got a song in the tuck called Febreze, and it goes hard, but it's a TikTok. Like when you hear it, you think of TikTok.
What you waiting on then to release it? What are you waiting on?
I'm getting a music video first if I do put it out.
Gotcha.
And we were supposed to get Stunner for Vegas on it, but we didn't. Okay. We didn't do that. We didn't do that.
Okay.
Because of like financial reasons. But we were supposed to get Stunner on it. So then once I decided I couldn't get Stunner on it, I played 3 songs for the Baby's producer. He actually produced for Stunner.
I actually never heard who it was.
He actually produced for Stunner, but you know his tag is I got 20 on my beat, bitch. But
okay.
He's an older nigga, so he's not one of those little kids. Like he know his shit. Like he listen to older people music.
Word.
Like so I sent him Febreze. I sent him a song called Finally Made It, which was like the boom bap type stuff. And then I sent him some other song, but like it was whatever, you know. He was like, "Yo, Febreze is hard. That's for TikTok." But like, Finally Made It is your sound.
Yeah.
He was like, you flow like, and the crazy thing is, when I was in the beat, I worked with this nigga named Cito on the beat. He got that nigga is crazy. That nigga is crazy when it comes to producer. So once we ran through like 4 beats, once we got to Finally Made It, because that was the last beat, everything was just smooth. Like we finished Finally Made It in like 30 minutes. He was like, "This is your beat. Like this is the type of beat you flow on. Like this is your sound." Yeah. And the Baby's producer just said the same thing. So I held on to Febreze. I'm thinking about putting it out once we're able to go outside. But I'm putting out. It was too TikTok-y for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like you were aiming for it. Yeah, I got that.
It was too much TikTok.
Drake about that. I think, Charlamagne just criticized. I don't even hear what your pop said about it yet. I haven't seen it. They probably did a pod on that. I haven't seen it yet. But I know Charlamagne criticized Drake for doing that. But I think Drake gets away with it, but it's just different for other. Like you said, like if you're an up and coming, you going for it. But you have like integrity. A lot of rappers don't have integrity, so they won't even care. Like no other person with integrity, without integrity, they'll be like, oh, it don't matter. Like I'll go for TikTok. But you said nobody would say it's too TikTok-y. That's what's up.
So the thing is, we didn't make it with the intentions for TikTok. It was just the type of vibe I was looking for, because I was trying to look for my lane, but with a bop. Because I already got my lane inside of the boom bap shit. Like I already know what I could do inside of that, but I need a bop. I need something I could go and take to parties and take to DJs and be like, all right, this is my shit. Like this is my style. It was hard, but it wasn't something I wanted to rock with. That's not the perception I wanted to get. So that's when I was like, fuck that. We finna hop into this drill shit. And then that's when the drill songs started to come up. So I got a TikTok song.
What's it called?
I don't know when it's called. Well, it's Febreze.
Febreze. It's okay. We're gonna promote that too. I know you're not aiming for it, but we can aim for it as an audience. It's up to us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
if y'all ever get the light of day to hear Febreze, then y'all gonna know what I mean by it's a TikTok-y type of song.
Word.
But I did not plan on putting out Febreze.
I got you. And then I want to we'll get back to the album, because we'll definitely get back. And also I heard your Pump It Up freestyle. That shit hard. Like that's the perfect way. Didn't you do a pump? I might have saw it on your IG. I don't think I heard it on the YouTube, but I think I saw it on the IG story or some shit.
Yeah.
You get a different vibe to it. Like how'd you know to do a different vibe to it? Because like you said, the boom bap, I'm only thinking about, and I'm gonna let you get back to that answer. But like boom bap, Griselda's making it popping. But other than them, like it's really difficult to make the boom bap popping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just difficult. So like with Pump It Up, you came at it. It seemed like the similar beat. I know you probably switched some shit around, but you rode the wave. You did a vibe on that shit. Like how did you do that shit?
Samad Savage came to me and said, "Yo, I gotta Pump It Up remix." He said, "I'm gonna put it out with or without you, but I'd prefer if you were on it." Now, Samad Savage is my boy because he did Dirty Jersey. You know what I mean? So you did Dirty Jersey. I owe you, like like I owe you a verse at that point. So sure, like let's get it. Like you give me a beat for free, we could rock out. And who wouldn't want to be on a song that basically made their family what their family is? You know what I mean?
Facts, bro. It's
Fuck it.
great that you like fucking and like, yeah, you like honor it. Yeah, continue though. Yeah.
So we hopped on that. I did my verse. I didn't want to be too barry because on the original track it wasn't too barry. Like
What?
it was bar, but he also had his arrogant bag. You know what I mean? So I was
like you use the same.
So Samad Savage was already in his like bar bag. Like he was trying to get bars off. I was like, I could add more bars to this, but like, do I really want to do that? So it was more of a laid back type of verse. You know, I got in my arrogant bag. I had a little references to the original Pump It Up track. I had a couple lines that I referenced or whatever.
I heard that.
People, you know. So it's just certain like small things that we wanted to inject into the Pump It Up remix to make it what it is. You know, in order to show the proper respects to the song that basically put Jersey on the map. You know what I mean? So we were like,
all right. So like, do you feel like, okay, from an outsider looking in, like even King Combs is his pop sound, but he's making it modern. Do you have any opinion on him? And if not, we'll take the that whole clip out. You don't want to speak about him, but I'm just saying that both y'all are doing like justice to it. It's like, it's really rare, like from outsider, like an audience member who's a fan of rap, to see like the son do it, like pay homage to his father, but also do it in his own way. Does that make sense? Like to you, like like how do you feel about what do you see any comparisons? I actually never saw a comparison until right now, because your whole style is different, but when you do shit like that, like to pump it up and keep it wavy like the way it is right now, it reminds me of like, because I anybody can easily hate on King Combs, but he killing it with the way he switches it up, you know. So yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a buck when it comes to these like younger artists. Or like the rappers' children's, a lot of them are hard, but like there's only a couple of them that earn the name they get. You know what I mean? So like King Combs, he definitely earns the name he gets. Like that nigga, he does what he does. Like he puts in his work. He sticks to his roots, even though he doesn't have to. Even if he didn't stick to his roots, you know what I mean? That nigga is still putting on for his family and living up to the title that he has. Chris Rivers has my respect because that nigga could rap his ass off.
Like but in terms of as of right now, like
but in terms of being able to form your own lane, like I love Chris Rivers with a passion. That's my nigga for real. Like I love Chris Rivers, but like everybody who's came to me in terms of talking about Chris Rivers, and they're like, he has not formed his own lane yet. And that's the problem with him. And I say, that's my nigga, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I think he has formed his own lane. I think that nigga just loves his dad, you know? And it's different. It's different versus King Combs, who has his dad, versus a rapper's child who doesn't. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Because fuck all that other shit. If my pops passed away, God forbid, you know, I'm not at that point. I'm not making my own lane. I'm carrying on what he did because he did what he could do to get me here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think, but there's a couple of niggas that just don't got my respect. not like don't got my respect.
But I already know I'll fuck up my bag or really fuck up your bag. So like, I don't even want to. I think I have a couple names off the top of the head, but I can't mention it, and we won't mention it because that's not what we do here on the Rockwell podcast. But y'all could comment in the below, make this shit timestamp this shit, and just give your opinion on whose rapper's son are not holding their legacy, like carrying on their legacy the right way, and we'll respond. But yeah, I'm glad you didn't say no names because we're not about that. Yeah, you media trained, I already know. I feel you, but in a good way. But yeah, so okay, let's get back to the album. We're going back. I got another question after that. I want to go back to the album real quick because we got 2 more songs, and I love the way, like I told the people, I love the way you did this shit. I love how cohesive it is. Let's go to Walking Dead. We talked about the man up with I Am Sue and Chris Rivers. That's Big Pun's son for y'all who don't know out there. Walking Dead, hook is fire, beat is fire. You still spitting bars. Walk us through that track real quick.
The thing about Walking Dead is that beat that song could have either went really well or really bad. You know, that was a song on the EP that really like was iffy. Like that really determined where we were gonna go from there, because although that song is hard, you know, it's a younger person type of song. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the bop is really younger person. The bars aren't exactly up to par, but it's a bop. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was focusing on the hook. I was letting the guitar riff carry me out throughout the song. Because bars didn't really need to be there. I had a fucking guitar riff. You know what I mean?
Bars are subjective, by the way. Like anything could be a bar as long as you feel it. Like bars are very I got so many. What do you say? So many chains on me. They call me Channing Tatum. That's a bar for him in that song.
That's not A bar needs to make me make a face. I need to make a face. You know when I hear, you know what I mean?
I think I'm justifying shit just because,
Yeah, I ain't justifying shit. I need to make a face when I hear a bar. It's not a bar if I don't cringe. You know?
Yeah.
Word. So Walking Dead didn't have no bars. I wasn't cringing, but I was like it was a vibe. Like, you know what I mean? But so I went to school because when I first made Walking Dead, I just got to college. The reaction was different.
What college you go to, by the way, just so the females out there know they can holler at you.
They can't holler at me.
They can't?
They can't holler at me.
Nah. Let's leave that alone. Let's move on. Hey, you a good man.
So I go to Montclair State University. So the reaction was different. So I thought Ops was gonna be the one. I thought everybody was gonna fuck with Ops because, you know, the flow is there and the content is there that kids are looking for. But and I just thought Walking Dead was too slow for me. But a lot of people fucked with Walking Dead.
That south tempo. What is it, like 120 BPM or some shit?
I got no fucking idea.
But it's like that south tempo, but it's not bars, but you were spitting. You know, like there's a difference.
I did my thing. I did my thing. I could have put.
You think you ever fuck with autotune? Because like it's a good vibe sometimes. Like I used to think I would never, but I like the feeling it gives, the emotion with autotune. And I noticed you didn't have no autotune on the whole album. For you at least.
One for me had autotune.
By you? By like on your vocals? Word.
Yeah, the hook had autotune.
Word, but not the verses, huh? You don't want to do it?
Nah. He tried to put autotune on the verses. I said nah. Like my verses can't have auto. So the thing about it, the different, like the point of a hook is to be melodic, you know? Yeah. The point of a hook is to draw people in. So the reason people might overdo it with autotune is because they have autotune throughout the whole song. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if I hop in autotune for a hook real quick and it's very subtle, I could hop back out and you won't be able to tell the difference.
But do you ever think like even if you can't tell the difference, because some people like Lil Baby, you fuck with Lil Baby? What's your thoughts on Lil Baby?
Lil Baby. The thing about Lil Baby is that nigga has bars. Like that nigga could rap.
Exactly.
But he has auto-tune. He can real life rap, but he has auto-tune on the verses.
Yeah,
so like I fuck with it.
Yeah.
But Lil Baby's freestyles versus Lil Baby's songs are just a different feel.
Got you.
So like if I hear Lil Baby, I heard Lil Baby freestyle before on one of his freestyles. Yeah. I damn near cringed the whole way through. You know what I mean? Like it was just a different feel.
Yeah, it's a different game. Like I remember they put Uzi on Hot 97 to rap all the like premiere beats, and like it was trash because it was not the same shit. But Uzi could freestyle if it was on his type of beats, you know. Same with Lil Baby. I think
if Uzi and Lil Baby really feel like going off, the niggas can go off.
They can go off, bro, for real. Like and people need to realize that they saying shit. It's not just vibes. It's they saying shit and it's a vibe. And like that's the only reason I brought up Lil Baby, because he's talking about like not having auto-tune on the verse. Do you think you would ever switch over to that, or you think you're just gonna stay clean with, which I respect, don't get me wrong, like I respect, but
only time I have auto tune is when I'm making like R&B songs. Other than that, I don't use auto tune unless it's in a hook. But that nigga Lil Baby bodies auto tune low key. I think the first line I heard from Lil Baby was on "Emotionally Scared." That's what really drew me in. That song really drew me in, because that was, you know how I am. You know, I'm a sad nigga. I'm all about the feels. I'm all about the bars. But once the song came off rip, he said a love letter came in the mail and said I miss you. I ripped it up and flushed with the tissue, try to forget you. I was like, that's really hit. That really hit. Like that really, I really. He said, I ain't mad at you. We all human. We all got issues, but I'm tired of being tired. Are you fucking kidding me? But if this was a regular song that didn't express that same type of emotion, I can't listen to Lil Baby flex on a beat for 3 minutes. When he did his emotions, that nigga's in his bag. Like there's no getting them out, even with the auto tune.
100%.
I feel like a lot of people try to downplay that.
And they don't know it's bars. Just because it's auto-tune doesn't mean, that's why I was trying to like, because I feel like, and I'm like, bro, I think you got your way. You know what you about. I'm telling you, you're a young legend. And I'm saying it right here on the World Rockwell podcast, episode 26, that this man right here, Trey Budden, is going to be a legend, regardless of what, like his father. And I really do respect you, because you guys are like, you guys have like a clear communication with the public. Everybody knows he's not helping you, and you admit he's not helping you. So do you know how much respect you gain from that? Like, it's obvious, and like you building your own thing, and you grinding it out, and like, dude, it's good music. You're not whack. Like we said, there's a lot of whack rappers out there who just think they can do it because they're positive, but they can't. So it's going to be one of the last, like, because this song really affected me when I was young. I just want to get your thoughts on it. It's gonna be a dumb question, but like, what are your thoughts on Role Reversal? If you don't mind me asking. If you don't want to talk about it, it's cool. You heard by Joe Budden.
Role Reversal?
That's the he talks about you, right?
I don't keep up with these songs. Let me go listen to it. Hold on.
All right, cool. Give me a second. Yeah, remind yourself. That song was like, dog, when I was listening to that at the gym like 10 years ago. I'm like, damn, this is bars, and like he's telling a story. And I know, like,
I'm not gonna hold you. There's like mad songs from Pops I haven't heard that are about me. I'm trying to catch up still. I'm still catching up. So
you had to have heard Role Reversal though.
I've heard it. I don't remember the words. Hold up.
Well, yeah, let's play it on what we're doing right now. They can hear it too. Just put it next to the speaker.
They able to hear it?
Yeah. We'll play the first verse or some shit. Yeah. I know it's deep for you, but
it's a hit like it shouldn't. But nah. I feel it. All right, so
yeah,
I already know the type of topic that We're
No,
not
no.
the type of time this on.
I just want to know what.
So,
You don't have to speak on it at all if you don't want to. I always want to know your opinion on it.
yo, listen, we way past all that, so I could freely speak on it without a problem.
Word.
You know, they ain't no problem here. We already passed it. We on good terms now. So I mean, in terms of how that song, in terms of how to explain the feelings in that song, you know, there was a lot of, you know, the point of Thoughts After the Courtroom was to address things like this. So the whole time while I was growing up, there was things like we had supervised visitations. You know, I was hanging with father, but you know, I also had other people there with me, along with pops. You know, I was there when Tahiri was there. I wasn't there when everybody else was there. I came back when Sin was there. You know what I mean? So go the transition from being with your pops all the time to no longer being with your pops, and holding a deep, like holding a lot of anger towards him because of the fact that he hasn't seen you was a lot. So then it got to the point where he would come ask my mom for me, but my mom would come ask me. I'd tell him no. You know what I mean? I'd be like, no, but why am I linking up with somebody who I see on the TV that could barely give me a call when necessary? You know, why do I have to watch my dad from the TV when my dad is just a call away? So then that's when it began to become a thing of the baby moms is doing this. You know what I mean? That's when the song started to flow in of the baby mom said no, he's at home because the baby mom is holding him captive. Da, 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 da. You know what? So all these songs are coming out that a lot of Joe Budden fans relate to over miscommunication.
Yeah, and that's what happens with, and I want, because I know you talking about this perfectly, because you're not shitting on nobody, you're giving everybody love, and that's what I want people out there to understand, especially because your pops was young when he made it, and it happens in everybody's life, bro. Like my parents divorced, bro. It's difficult, like, you know, it's just a natural thing. It happens in probably 75% of cases, like in marriages. Like everybody can relate to that, and the fact that you're able to talk about it, and I think, I don't know, and I'm not gonna even ask. Like, I feel like your parents are good right now. Are they like on good terms? I mean, I did ask, but like at least
you know how co-parenting is. So they're gonna talk. You know, they're gonna talk when necessary.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have no problems with each other. They're mad chill. It's just a matter of when time comes to be a dad and when time comes to be a mom, both of them are going to play that role, and they're very capable of speaking to each other now that I have, you know, now that I can talk to both of them, you know, now that I can let them know, this is what I said, this is what I said, this is my decision, da 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 da. Before, my mom was giving me the option to do whatever I want in terms of my father, but he thought, you know, your mom's is doing this and this and this and that. He just found out like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that it wasn't my mom. You know, like he just recently found out. And it was casual. It was like we're sitting in the car. He was like, I never asked you why you were mad at me or why your mom wouldn't let me see you. I said, no, nigga, that was me. Like that was my choice. I didn't want to be here. He said, why? I said, you're a dickhead. And it was left at that. Like it wasn't no more to that. But you know, when you're in a dark spot and you're venting about that dark spot, you're basing it off of the things you see. So you might not know the other half of the situation.
Did you hear that song before? You know what I mean? You heard that song before or not? I just want to know.
1 second. Can I go in your room now? I'm in an interview.
That's your girl?
Yeah. You go upstairs? I could just go in there.
Who was that, your girl?
That was Mama. No, that was Mama. That was Mama Dukes, Mama Budden.
That's what I thought at first, yeah. You feel comfortable you talk about that? Because I'm not even trying to, and again, we don't have to put nothing out. I feel like you spoke about, you were a young man who's very respectable, bro, because like a lot of people don't have their head on straight. You have your head on straight. You didn't shit on nobody. You spoke facts. You spoke only positive things about both sides, because you're of that age now where you can see it. And like, you know, like even with, and again, this is an outside looking in, I'm sure your pops was dealing with shit, your mom was dealing with shit. They don't know how to deal with, like, you know, I just wanted to touch on that because a lot of our listeners, they don't know how to, they're going through it right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's a good way. I'm gonna leave it at that. I appreciate you. Hey, did you ever hear that song before though?
I've heard that song briefly one time, but I
How
was driving, so like it wasn't that long ago. It's just I never got the chance to like fully listen to it. Like people go on my Instagram comments, people comment like lines and stuff and like be like, go check this out. That's the only reason I've been keeping up throughout my lifetime. Like the fans are the reason, you know, the fans did a lot for me in terms of like Joe Budden fans did a lot for me. You know, it's crazy that how you know my father builds his fan base, and then that fan base educates his kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's not even a bad, like, people don't, that's a beautiful thing. Like, and that's kind of what I want for, like, I don't even have kids yet, but I'm saying, like, if something were to go like that with my kids, like, I would want that to, like, and it's crazy, like, he didn't show you, like, email you every day, like, yo, listen to this, bro. Like, so it shows like character on every single side. And he already talked about, like, him and your moms are cool. So, and your mom was just calling you right now. I don't know if I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable with this interview. So I hope we didn't do that. That's all I want to know. Like, so, and we're going to get off the subject, but I think it was a perfect way to address it. And so we're going to go to the last two songs of this album, right? We're going to go to the last, all right, Year Long. All right.
Yeah.
That's the last song on the album, though, huh?
Yeah.
That's the last song, right?
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, we'll get on that one. Let's go to the second to last, because I really love Year Long too. Well, yeah, we already did Walking Dead. Year Long.
Yeah.
So, bro, that song's beautiful, and like that's how I know you know music, because you ended it with the song like that. That's a classic outro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about that song was my boy Kaz. So my boy Kaz's aunt hangs out with my dad. So his aunt is her name is Rocky. So she that might be her
We know her.
son.
We know her. Is she on Love and Hip Hop? All right.
Rocky was on Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
So
You know.
Rocky's like my aunt. So like I'm gonna keep it a
All right.
buck. Like I see Rocky, I'm like, I'm Rocky. You know what I mean? So it's like so Rocky was sitting there, she was like, Trey, I heard you getting into the music or whatever. I was like, you know me, I'm dabbling a little bit, I'm trying. So then she was like, my son, I think that's her son. She was like, my son makes music. And he's working with people like Nas. He's working with like a lot of big time people. So get with him. I was like, all right, cool. So I found him on Instagram one day. He sent me a pack of beats, and they were those beats were so hard. I wish I used more of them on the project. Those were hard beats. Those were the type of beats I was looking for. That nigga, I told him, yo, I want something hard, but I don't want it too soft, and I don't need no boom bap. He said, I got you. And he sent me a pack. It was beautiful. So I chose Year Long because I'm a piano type of nigga. Like I like pianos. So like it had nice pianos, and it just gave off that smoking vibe I was looking for. So I was like, let me compare the rap game to a girl.
Yeah, you said different genres. I heard you say that shit. Yeah.
So, but I wanted to make it I didn't want it to make it too subtle because when I was growing up, Audio Push did the same thing with they compared weed to a girl.
Word.
But it was obvious, but like it wasn't so obvious. You know what I mean? I wanted to make it, so you're able to clearly understand, so you're able to pick up on it as soon as you listen to the verse. So then I went to Oswin Benjamin. I walk in, I walk in the studio. This nigga Chris Rivers is on a Nintendo Switch on the side. All he does is play video games. This nigga Chris Rivers is on a Nintendo Switch on the side. The rest of the team is sitting there, and Oswin Benjamin is in a booth. So I walk in. They turn on the music. They're like, "Yo, this nigga compared the rap game to farming." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So like, what the
farming? You said
yes,
farm?
like a farm, like a farmer.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm with you.
he's like, Oswin Benjamin just compared the rap game to he's rapping about a farmer.
Damn, that's
I was like, what the fuck are you? Why the fuck are you on my song rapping about a farmer, my nigga? Like, you know what I mean? I just came 2 hours away for you to talk about a fucking farmer. Like, that's not something I'm looking for. You know what I mean?
You have to make that real dope if that's gonna translate, because that don't even sound.
Yo,
yeah, I got you.
the level of how deep that verse was, that was probably one of the craziest
Word.
features I've gotten. His feature was crazier than Chris Rivers, and I looked up to Chris Rivers. So this nigga I just got put on to, not just got put on to, but like I haven't been looking up to him, but I know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This nigga I know comes on my beat, talks about a farmer, and it ends up being one of the best verses on the whole project. You know what I mean?
That's hard. I didn't even know he was talking about that shit,
If
bro.
you listen closely, he compares the rap game to mad crops, mad farming references.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's really intricate. So I was like, God damn, like I need to end it with this verse, because although it doesn't pack a punch like the rest of the EP does, there's a lot of content in that for people to feel. People are really going to appreciate this verse for what it is,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't hit as hard as I wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was amazed. like I'm gonna leave it at that. My pen all right. Like my pen nice. Like I'm not gonna lie, my pen nice. But like the niggas who could get even crazier with words than I am really amaze me. That really draws me in. Cause like I don't have to have a better pen than you.
You
Like
18.
just watching you, you know what I mean? That nigga was crazy.
Mm.
It was a lot. So I was like, let me make this the outro. Give my props to Osman Benjamin. I dapped him up. It was like, thank you for really fucking doing this. Like you really blessed me with this, because I didn't expect the verse to be like that. You know what I mean?
Word.
And like people usually have to double back in order to like catch all the references. I had to double back a couple times to catch every single reference. Like that shit was on repeat to make sure I understood it
I gotta
before I
double
put it
back
out.
now because I didn't even know that shit, bro. Like you
You
make it
definitely got to
sound
double back.
way ill. Like I gotta really hear that shit again because I like the vibe of it. I was like, this is a perfect outro track, but I really didn't catch like the analogy or whatever to like farming, and that's hard. Like if you can make it work with me, not even like it still got a vibe to it and shit. Like bro, that's hard, bro. Like, yeah.
And when you listen to the idea for face value, you be like, this nigga is on some bullshit. I was like, oh, y'all are high as hell. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Why y'all even letting this nigga rap about a farm on my song?
Yeah.
Nah, yo, I was blown away once he laid it down.
Bruh. All right. And so that's a legacy EP for all y'all out there, Rockwell land, every YouTube land, Spotify land, Tidal, everything. Y'all gotta check out. It's on all streaming platforms, right? The legacy EP.
Yeah.
Shit is dope and it's very rare. And it's a vibe, but it's bars. And it's very rare you get both of those nowadays. And I think you're gonna be one of the pioneers for this shit. I think you're gonna take on the legacy even further than your pops did. Honestly, I say that with true respect and true expertise, honestly, because I feel like I'm a rap expert, bro. I grew up, I lived shit, breathe this shit as much as the next man, and I love this shit. And like, dude, the fact that you're so dope, I was like, man, it's refreshing because like you said, and we're not gonna name names, a lot of, you know, rappers' sons aren't that dope, and that's the last time we're going to mention that because he deserves his own credit, his own name, and we're gonna leave it at that. But I also want to see, okay, you did the Pump It Up freestyle. I just seen you did you see this with the Busta Rhymes one. Like that shit was hard too, and I could tell you started really freestyle. You know, rappers could tell when a rapper starts really freestyling. Like I could tell the first couple bars you kind of had in your mind, but then you was freestyling. I was like, all right, you really got it. So is that gonna go on like a mixtape or something? Are you doing anything?
No, me and my niggas used to do Instagram freestyles before like niggas was freestyling on Instagram for real.
Yeah.
So like that was from back in like early 2019.
Word. Okay.
We would pick at first it started off with the Busta shit because everybody like that shit was just a bop, and I was like, yo, I'd rip this shit. So I turned it on. I just started rapping. My friend was in the back. Kadian, my boy Kadian was in the background. Just ad-libbing.
He deserves it because you mentioned him 4 times. He deserves it.
Yes, Kadian deserves that. So Kadian's in the background. He's ad-libbing. So I messed up, but I was like, pause. This is like something big. Like this could be something big. Like if you could do Instagram freestyles, but not many people have a hype man, and not many people add hype to like the old songs. You know what I mean? So I was like, so last line was like, I'm hit you with no delay. So what you're saying, yo, silly with the 9 milli, what's the deal, yo? So that was from the original song.
Yeah.
Hit you with no delay. This is for the nigga said I ain't fucking with Joe. And at that point, We were just rocking.
I was like, oh, you doing a cover? And then that's when I was like, all right, he rapping. Okay, continue.
A lot of people, the only problem with that is that a lot of people took it as a cover. A lot of people were like,
they're ignorant, like they don't even know the lyrics.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like if you actually like knew the original song, you knew that I was playing. It was a play on words, essentially.
And a lot of freestyles start off like that. You say the first line of the real song. That always goes.
That's what I'm saying. So said I ain't fucking with Joe, and niggas hit me now and wouldn't hit me before. And in the background, he's like, he's just ad-libbing. He's just he's just going. Yeah. So when I was just like, fuck it, we pushed the chair, we stood up. I was like, yo, I'll pull up in that new shit, and he just matched the energy. He just matched the energy. He really brought the energy where it needed to be. So then after that, we did No Auto Dirt. That the numbers on these videos were insane though. Like when I first posted the Busta Rhymes freestyle, because this is my third time posting it. When I first posted it, we ran up like 20,000 views in like 2 days.
Hell, yeah.
We did the second one that ran up.
News clips, end up on news clips. Like, bro, that shit was bars. That's how I knew. I was like, bro, you got the vibe. You modern day. Like, let's not even compare it to nobody else. You modern day bars. Because Joey Badass was bars, but it wasn't really. And I fuck with Joey Badass a lot, right? But he didn't like really. He had a song. He had a song that kind of like meshed with the times. But it's the vibes and bars, vibes and rhymes. It's like what I like to call it. I just thought about that right now. But yeah, vibes and rhymes. Like, and you had both of them shits in that shit, you know? Yeah. Let me finish it.
We thinking about starting up the Instagram freestyles again. I think the next one I'm finna hop on is a Missy Elliott beat.
Word.
You already know. I like the old beats that don't have like a lot of shit to it, but it's a bop. You know what I mean? Like if I could get a hold of Timbaland, I would. Like, but
you need to.
The next one, as soon as I'm able to get in contact with Kadian, as soon as I'm able to meet up with Kadian, we're able to go outside and like get this shit rocking. Because I'm not doing the Instagram freestyle without Kadian. Because what the point that people really, the people who are for the raps.
Let's shout out his IG real quick because he's really in. What's his IG?
His Instagram is @Kadian McGaw, CADIAN
One more time for the people, just because they're slow, and we appreciate this.
CADIANMCGAW.
Appreciate you.
So even the people who weren't there for the rap just found comedy in the ad libs because that's not what people do. You know what I mean? So at that point we were rapping, but we were adding like comedy flavors to it. Like I had videos up where I was like singing, but like it was hard. You know what I mean? And I was taking it as a joke. Yo, I'm the best singer of 2019. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? And it ran up like 15,000 views in a day. But I've been so into the actual music aspect, I've lost touch of the social media aspect.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. But at the same time, I need that. You know what I mean? Like that's a pivotal part of rap, being able to show your abilities while fucking around at the same time. Like people knew me as that rapping nigga, and I got bars, but at the same time, they got a hint of personality at the same time. You know what I mean?
100%.
So as soon as I'm able to go back outside, we run outside, we catch whatever Missy Elliott beat we could get, and we doing another one. But I'm just trying to get a little more in touch with the people than I am now, because I feel like I really lost that.
Yep, no, that made a lot of perfect sense. And yo, we excited. We want to hear the new. So you didn't answer this full question. Just answer yes or no. Like, are you gonna do a freestyle little mixtape, or that's out of the question? Because these freestyles are hard, bro. They want to hear that shit on wax. They want to hear that shit recorded. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you.
So someone just told me earlier, like last week, yo, you should grab a bunch of like the most popular beats.
Yeah, I like these.
Like just rip this shit.
Yeah.
But what their idea was like get a bunch of the newer drill beats and get a couple of R&B joints.
I could do that. The drill beats. So it'll be a really random mixtape, but it'll be a good mixtape. But
it would be a random mixtape. But the thing about it is the old mixtapes would get whatever wave is popping right now, and they would also pay their homage to R&B. So if I was to take that aspect and apply it to now, it would be R&B and it would be drill. You know what I mean? Like it would essentially it would be R&B and drill. Of course, I'm going to dabble in other beats. I'm definitely putting that That Busta Rhymes shit was supposed to be on wax,
hard,
but it just
hard.
sounded harder on a freestyle, on like just a record. I put that shit on wax. It didn't feel the same. You don't feel the energy. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Yeah, you can't do that sometimes. Like if you put on wax, it's not gonna like you trying too hard automatically. Like just because you're recording it and the
and you can't see the energy. Yeah. So we I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start putting out more Instagram freestyles.
Word.
You know, now that I'm in the frat, that shit will run up fast. That shit will run up great. Now that I have a bunch of niggas that could just stand behind me, that shit's gonna run up. You know what I mean? So so I think
old after this quarantine, you ready after this quarantine?
After this quarantine, I'm outside. Like there ain't no stopping me. At this point, I have a bunch of hood niggas behind me at this point. Like the I feel like the only thing I'm missing in terms of my bars is the more aggressive hood aspect. That's the one field I can't cater to. So now that I got a bunch of hood niggas behind me, they letting me know which direction I should go in.
Can cater to that too with like like just being real, like you're gonna end up in Rikers.
Yeah.
You know, so
my shit is raw, but it's not raw enough to appeal. Mainly it's because my voice. I'll keep it above. It's mainly my voice.
But you developed. That's 18.
I'm trying. I'm trying to figure it out how to.
If you listen to anybody's first mixtape, I'm gonna tell you this, like especially these young rappers, like especially nowadays, like they're not as good as you. I'm telling you that 100%. Don't matter who your pops, it don't matter who's in your family at all, bro. Shit is hard, bro. You got an ear for the sound. You got an ear for the engineers, because the engineers is the most important relationship in music. I feel like that's why Joe and Parks are so. I don't even know if Parks was an engineer, but I know he engineers. But I'm saying like 40 and Drake, Hove and Young Guru, like the engineers, the most important relationship you can captivate. And also I'm gonna say, I want to ask you, I'm gonna leave this because I'm gonna let you go soon. We almost on an hour and a half. But I really want to know this. Top 3 rappers of right now. I'm not talking about before, if you're willing to answer that, of right now that you listen to right now. Top 3 rappers.
Top 3 rappers of right now.
Yeah, right now. Literally, it could be Drake too. Like people think that's a question of like youth, but I'm talking about like popping right now. Yeah.
I'm going to take that question and I'm going to put it in terms of like youth, in terms of like the younger people, because those are really the people. I every time someone asks me top 3 rappers, I try to have the conversation of people who aren't as blown up and who aren't already solidified their status. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to talk about Drake. Drake already solidified his status. I'm not going to talk about Hove, Meek, all them. They already solidified their status.
Got you.
Roddy is up there for me. Roddy Ricch is definitely
West
up there
Coast,
for me.
Compton, out. I'm telling you that for real.
Roddy Ricch is definitely up there for me because Roddy Ricch, his structure is just so off that it works. You know,
that's a great way to put it. He's like, I don't even know how to understand how dope he is, because he's, like you said, his structure is so off, it works, because the structure is off, but it works. Like this shit fire.
But it works. So I got him up there. I'm playing Lil Baby and Gunna as one person.
Okay, good way to do it. Yep, got you.
Lil Baby and Gunna are definitely up there. Thugger already solidified his spot.
Yeah, he's old school now. Yeah.
You know what? I think Lil Tecca holds a lot of promise.
I only know that one song, to be honest with you, but that song is fire. I always
I'm gonna keep it a buck. So, because I've had this conversation. At first, my top 3, Juice WRLD was automatically number 1.
Of course. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Juice. Because I can't have that conversation now.
Yeah.
But Juice WRLD was definitely my number 1. But I feel like Lil Tecca holds a lot of promise at this point in time.
Yeah.
Because although he's probably not the best lyricist, his music is back to back. It's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually listen to Lil Tecca's catalog, it might not be bars, it might not be what you're looking for, but the consistency is crazy right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I could name all the New York niggas, but New York niggas already they automatically got that one up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Lil Tecca, you wouldn't assume he's from New York.
He's from New York. I was about to ask you right now. Where is he from?
He's from Queens.
I got a lot with you, huh? That's the only song I know. But that song is hard. I never thought he was from New York. That's crazy. I thought he was from South.
That nigga is from Queens.
That's crazy. And he's 16, bro. He's like 16. you know what really put him on the map, bro? That video. He's having a ball. They're playing golf and shit. They're like that. Those videos really could put your career on the map to any young rapper out there. So I fuck with you on Low Ticket. I really like that song, and I always when that song comes on, I bump that shit mad loud. I got black, I got white. Like that shit hard. Like yeah. All right. So you said number one was Baby, Lil Baby.
Number one was Roddy. Number two is Lil Baby and Gunna.
Yeah.
And number two is Lil Baby and Gunna. Number three is Lil Tucker. Yo, Lil Tucker really. I don't understand. I don't know what it is about him, but he manages to slip in like some type of like. His songs aren't bars, but he slips in like relatable things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those relatable.
The last song he just dropped. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Everybody want the same thing: new cars, new clothes, and the same bling. I just want to make money with the same thing.
100.
Bitches fucking different niggas for the same fame. It's just shit he says. Like it's just shit he says that's just like I cringed at that. You know what I mean? Like I was like, damn, like I didn't even think of it like that. Like you know what I mean? Like if I was in the studio, I wouldn't be able to put stuff like that together so effortlessly.
Word.
But there's a lot of niggas that can do that.
So transparent, bro, and like giving your honest truth opinion on things. You're your top 3 rappers of right now. He was honest about your upbringing, about your pops, about your album, the Legacy EP, where everybody can stream it on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, everything, YouTube. And that shit hard, bro. And if I say it's hard, bro, because I'm a hater too, like I be hating on some shit, but that shit super hard to me. Appreciate you so much. I really want to have you back on the show, like few weeks if we're still in quarantine, and if you got new shit, just come back, bro. We could talk hip hop because we doing a lot of shit, bro. It's like the Renaissance, bro. We got actors and we got everything. But my main thing is talking to rappers, young rappers like you, and I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yes, sir, man. All right. Trey Budden, everybody go download his EP, episode 26, Rockwell podcast. Trey Budden, thank you so much, man. I'll see you soon, bro. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you, yo.
Yes, sir. We still here? Are we still here? Okay, we still here. That was a great interview with Trey Budden. Today is the date, April 22nd, 2020. It was a great interview, and he's gonna be a legend. And you heard I never say somebody's gonna be a legend, they don't end up being legends, bro. Trey Budden is gonna be a legend. He got the bars. He's 18 years old. Everybody check out the Legacy EP. Bars, vibes. Enjoy it during the quarantine, bro. And we're probably going to do another episode tomorrow. I appreciate the whole audience just tuning in with us. Let's shout out Daniel Dane. Let's shout out Alexander Michael. And that's about it. Let's shout out Scrap Dog. Let's shout out Rockwell. I love you guys. And to all you guys, God bless and good night. Shout out Survivor. That's what Daniel Dane just told me to say. I don't know why.